All right, sweet. So here we are. It is Sunday night as usual, and welcome everybody who is with us, and definitely welcome everybody who's on the replay. And so we were just taking a brief second a minute ago to just kind of go over, what specifically do we need in the archives, right? So if you're watching this a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, there are some key core principles that are required to grow your business. And so tonight we're just going to jump into that a little bit, and then I'm going to segue a couple of good questions of introspection. So just to put a little context into the equation, tonight it is February 5th, 2023. So just about a month into the new year, and just some thoughts that I'm having in relationship to that. And then Kevin will go ahead and jump in. He had a really productive week this week, and so I'm sure there's some insights and some valuable takeaways from his week, working in some international groups, working with some different people, and also realizing that he is one of the top earners in the company, and we are just getting started. I mean, it's a very small company as of right now, but it's always I think one of the things before I really kind of go into what I was going to talk about is mindset's everything, right? And you always hear people talk about, okay, you need a positive mindset and so forth. But one of the mindsets that's super crucial is to tap into, the concept that what you think is going on in the business is not usually what's going on in the broader business, right? And so what do I mean by that? Now, there's times where you're going to have people that are going to be part of your business that maybe they get started, drink some product, bring a couple of people, to the table, add some customers, and kind of take a back seat. Life happens to everybody, and you'll touch base with them a month from now, 3 months from now, and they'll be like, oh, how's that going? Is that still happening? Is that still going on? And it's almost like if we're not a central pillar of the business, or if we're not in a place where we are driving and growing our business on a day-to-day and week-to-week basis, it's so easy to believe that because maybe not a lot of activity is happening in our world, that there's not a lot of activity happening in the world of the company. And the truth is that the company is like a cruise ship, and the company's ship is going to sail with or without every single one of us. And so it's up to us to tap in, get turned on, get tuned in, and make sure that we are hitched onto that cruise ship, because when it sets sail, when it leaves port, basically the people that are on the cruise are going to have a good time, and the ones who miss the dock are going to be kind of bummed. So that's kind of an interesting thought. So real quick, if you're just getting started, if you're let's say that this is the first time that you've ever approached or ever tried anything in the home-based business opportunity space, right? Maybe this is the first time you've ever promoted a nutritional product. Maybe this is the first time that you've ever promoted an opportunity. Maybe this is the first time you've ever grown a team. There's a couple key things that really make the difference. So I thought of something really interesting this last week. I was watching and reading some content about this business, and it said, why do salespeople make such miserable networkers? And I thought that was so great, because so often we think, oh, I need to be a professional at sales to make this happen, right? I need to, and a lot of people, the majority of people, are not going to feel like they're professional salespeople. They're not going to feel like they're have the gift of gab, so to speak. They're not going to be comfortable talking on camera. They're not going to be comfortable talking in front of an audience of people. And yet those usually are the people who do better, right? Because the truth is that there's the way that an organization in this industry exists is that, yeah, of course you can make some right now money for sure to pay some gas, like some gasoline in the car, to pay a car payment, get some product for free, supplement, make a part-time income. But when you start to talk about achieving your dreams, right, using this as a vehicle to get something that you haven't been able to get in your life with what you've been doing already, the only way that that's going to happen is by having layers and layers of leadership, people that are consuming the product, people that are happy customers, people that are happy promoters, and month after month, year after year, people who are purchasing, promoting, and consuming the product. And you're going to have a lot of them. The good news is that you don't have to get them all yourself. You don't have to find everybody yourself. And that's one of the key principles of this is leverage, right? Is that you can, in the beginning, use your own efforts. You can use your own sweat equity to start growing. But as the business grows and as you teach exactly what we're going to talk about right now, you can start to override on not only your own personal sales, but on the sales of your organization, and eventually the sales of the organization that grows that you don't even know, right? Because I actually ran into a very successful 7-figure networker today, and he said, you know what, our Australia business has just taken off. And you talk about the numbers that those guys are earning, and it's out of this world. And he's like, yeah, so, we're down there maybe 7 days, 8 days out of the month and come back. And let's think about that for just a second. First of all, you get to go to Australia. Second of all, you're down there meeting people, helping, inspiring, and growing. They're making, 6+ digits per month. And then they come back to the United States. And what do you do for the 2-3 weeks while you're here? You hang out with your family, you make sure that your house is right, you participate in your hobbies. Like, there's some really incredible things that happen from growing something like this, right? So if you're just getting started, the whole point of that was to say that you don't have to be a professional at selling. In fact, don't try to sell. There's a great thing that people say where it says we're in the business of sharing, but it does take a little bit more than that. So if you were just getting started, like tonight, you're sitting at my house, you say, I want to get going, I want to do this. Here's a couple of things that we would do. The first thing is that you want to figure out what's going to suit you best to enroll. I'm going to assume that you've already made the decision to enroll right now. I'm going to assume that you've already made the decision to enroll as a QI, qualified influencer, so that you have access not only to the product, not only to the massive, benefit of the discount codes for the customers, but also world-class training. So you're going to schedule your first training. In the training, you're going to learn lots and lots and lots about what you need to know about the back office, about details about the product, about how to grow the organization, the rhythm, the cadence, the rhythm of events, some of the different promotions, where some of the different, bonus structures are in the actual compensation plan. But you don't need to know any of that now to get your business moving in the right direction. So you're only going to be new one time. You only get the opportunity to be new one time. And I love being able to utilize the invitation of being new, because you can create so much curiosity. And so what I would do is I would think of, a sizable list. That could be 20, it could be 50, it could be 100, right? People that come to mind. You have to sit down, put pen to paper, and start thinking a little bit about your list. And then what you want to do is that you're not trying to tell these people all about the business. You're not trying to tell them everything about this product. What you're trying to do is you're trying to take the temperature of each and every one of those, of if they are curious about taking a look at something. But what's important is that you want them to be curious about the thing that you're curious about, because you don't even know all the details yet. And that's one of the best places to be when you're inviting, is to say, hey, I'm looking at something. I think there's a lot of possibility. I don't have all the details yet. I want to run it by you. When I get all the details, can I send you some information to take a look? Most people will say, sure, why not? What is it? Okay, right? You can use voice memo, you can use text, you can make a call. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pre-warm up that list. And then as you start to go through your qualified training, you start to understand a little bit more about the product. You're going to start to understand that you have product samples, your product's going to show up, all these different things. Now you're going to go through all, and you're going to figure out, you're going to have watched some of the different videos that exist for the company. You're going to watch things that exist for the product. You're going to decide what you are the most excited to share. And then you're going to go through and say, hey, I've gotten more information. If I send it your way, Ken, I have that. It's a double confirmation. If I send it your way, will you take a look? Most people are going to say yes. Now, the truth is, if you light up about 100 people, 50 are going to engage with you. And then by the time that you've kind of sifted all through that, maybe 30 are willing to take a look. Out of 30 that you send them some information, maybe 20 actually do, right? But here's what's so important about that. That's going to be the starting point for you to be able to hit the first benchmark in the company, which of course you're going to have people that say, hey, I don't need to look at any opportunity right now. I'm busy with my work, whatever, but I want to try the product. You have, discount codes that you can help them become a customer, but you're going to have 3 to 5, maybe 7 people that are like, wow, this is incredible. And now what's important is that you're going to share a piece of information with those people, and then you're going to get them connected to an expert. And an expert is somebody that you're working with. If the person that brought you into the business is just getting started at the same time as you, and they don't know anything more than you do, just keep reaching into your support team until you get all the way to myself, all the way to Kevin, anybody that you're working with, and absolutely you get the support that you need to start to outline, hey, this is the concept of what we're doing as a company. This is where we're going over the next 1, 3, 5 years. This is what that means for all of us, and this is what it could do for you. And what's so important about that is that there's no faster way to get trained. Let's say that you do this in your first 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, first week, okay? Exactly what I described, 100 list of 100 people, the pre-invite, the invite, you send them the video, you connect with the expert. There's some incredible things that are gonna happen because you're gonna be able to take your QI training in that same time frame. And so by the time you get to the end of your week, your business is gonna be launched. You're probably gonna be in profit. You're going to have new people that you're helping getting started right there. You're going to be absorbing everything like a sponge when you're looking at QI training and understanding this. Your dreams are going to be going wild because you're going to be super excited. And whoever it is that you're working with, you've now heard them talk about the bullet points of the business, of the product, dozens of different times. And so now you're in a position where you can start to help grow your team. And that's really the foundation of this. So I'm gonna hand over to Kevin here in just a sec. The last thing I'm gonna kind of end with. So that's if you're just getting started this week, today, tomorrow, whatever. If you've been with us for a little while, or whether it's a year from now and you're watching this, it's 2024, February 5th, 2024. The conversation that I love to have with myself is, the year is already 8% over. And the problem that most of us have, myself included, is that most of us go through our lives measuring our results and overlooking our gardening. So what do I mean by that, right? Are we not paying attention to the spinach and the kale? No. Yes, but no. What is gardening? Gardening is planting seeds. It's sifting, it's tilling, it's watering, it's nurturing, it's weeding, right? It's allowing time to pass. It's to, get rid of the bugs, right? It's to make sure that the plants are getting adequate sunlight, right? And it takes time for a garden to grow, right? So if you start planting in the spring, then you cultivate all through the summer, and then you harvest in the fall. But the question is that now that we're 8% done with the year, we're already 8% done with the year. Can you believe that? You might not have the results yet that you want, right? Your New Year's resolution result, or you might not have the result that you hope for, but you can start to think to yourself to say, hey, if this was actually December 31st of 2023, and I've been busy doing what I've been busy doing all year, what's that garden looking like right now? And the beautiful thing is that you can measure that at a personal level. We always talk about, what's going on in your relationships, what's going on in your body, what's going on in your health, what's going on in your finances, what's going on in your business, what's going on with your family, what's going on spiritually, right? And those are some good starting points and bullet points. But just think to yourself right now, say, okay, it's already 8% done. We're going to be at 16% done in another 25 days. And if I got to the end of this year plugging away exactly like I've been plugging away, what's that garden going to look like in each and all of those areas? And the beautiful part of it is that you don't have to get it perfect. You just got to improve a little bit and readjust, and improve a little bit and readjust, so that at the end of 2023, it does in fact turn out to be the best year that you've ever had, right? And so with that, I'm going to bounce you over to Kevin. Kevin's going to update you on everything that happened this week, and then fill in the gaps on getting started in the business. Day one, week one.
Oh man, let's use the gardening analogy. Peyton, thank you. That's a perfect segue. I heard someone say, Lisa says a seed can't grow if it's never planted. How many of us are guilty of planting a seed and then digging it up 3-4 days later before it has time to germinate? You kill the process by doing stuff like that to dig it out. No, you have to trust the process. You have to trust the process. Back in the Amway days, they had a process. There was they draw a circle, and it would be like STP, show the plan. which is just, in our case, showing the plan would be sharing a couple sticks with someone. It would be, having a conversation with someone and bringing it up within the conversation. It might be reaching out to a list of people to just go straight business, to just go straight product. But it's like there's a bunch of different ways to essentially show the plan. You could share a video, share a stick, share something third party. Peyton said it so powerfully before, where he said to reach into your support team and find someone all the way up that will help you, when you need a little bit of extra credibility. You're never prophet in your own town. That was what Jesus said. It was one of those things where if you wanted to be a business person, but your friends and family didn't perceive you as a business person, that's going to be an uphill battle. You'll lose every time. I remember realizing that my mentor knew everything about it, answered all my questions, and I felt good about getting involved. And I was really making a decision to get involved working with him, and he was going to help me get started. And so when I brought all my friends to take a look at it, they all wanted to work with him, which was awesome because I connected them to him and he helped me learn, and I saw it 50 times probably, and I could almost say exactly what he was going to say next. At that point, I realized I was ready and I could show the plan, and then the next one was to follow up. My favorite way to follow up was to tell them what the next step was while we were together or while we were on the phone. I would tell them, so I think the next step is if you're ready to get going, we could get a bag of green juice going, and I'll send you a link for a coupon code if it's a customer thing. If that was the case, if the next step was going to the event coming up, the next event that's going to be, or whatever, that would be the thing. Or if there's somebody's doing a house meeting, but it was, there was always bringing them to something else. There was always a next step. Always. So it never died off. I always told them what the next step was. And you got to think human beings are conditioned since we are born to seek attention, to have a structure, to have a routine, to do what we do. And we have like our parents telling us what to do and making sure we do it. Our teacher telling us what to do and making sure we do it. College professor, we're paying, but they're not really caring if we're doing it, but we paid the money. So there's a difference there. And then it goes on to getting a job, and you work, and people are conditioned to be told what to do and have somebody hold them accountable. So we as leaders almost have to do a variation of that, even though this is supposed to be your independent business for you guys to kind of like self-start, so to speak. But most of the time people aren't self-starters because they've been told what to do. And so to show the plan and follow up and to tell them what the next step is. So the next step is, we've got a meeting this day, this time, you should totally come. And if I was looking at this for the first time, I'd want to go get my first 3 or 4 people and have them come to the meeting with me and just tell them like, hey, I'm not involved yet, but I really value your opinion. I want you to come take a look and see if it's something that I should do, and if it's something you think you might be interested in. They'd be like, what is it? You'd be like, well, I'll show you on Wednesday, or I'll show you on Thursday, or whenever that is. And then I always love events. Events are the lifeblood of this. And so if there's no event, it's time to put a meeting at your house. Just call up the person that would present at the meeting at your house and get a bunch of people together at your house. We had a group of people that would do that on Zoom. A bunch of people are at their house and they're having a party and sharing the greens with everyone and testing, doing test strips, test don't guess parties, and playing around that way. And then we zoomed into their living room and answered questions and explained the business and ran a presentation that way. You could show them the video of the what if. There are so many ways to do that. But one of the most important things is this, the existential question. They say, who am I? Where did I come from? Why am I here? Where am I going? These are like the questions, right? Who are you? In my notebook, on page 1 of my notebook, it's got my mission statement. Like, that's not your why. That's my mission statement. If you shot me like 10 times, I would still get up because of that. That's why I'm here today. That's why I didn't die when I was younger, or die when I was a teenager, or I'm still here because there's something I am here to do. It's my mission statement. I'm here. I'm going to protect my children and my family. I'm going to be my wife's husband, and I'm going to show up and I'm going to grow an organization all over the world, sharing active greens with everyone while assisting people in real estate, in the stock market, in cryptocurrency, and help people in being their best selves with whatever I might have. Your mission statement is like why you get up. That should be page 1. If you don't know that, soul searching is required. You need to know that, because there will be times you want to quit. There's times other people quit. There's times people say mean stuff, or people you thought would do it don't want to do it, and you get deflated and then you don't want to do it anymore. And you make it like 4 months or something like that because you gave up on your dream because people were mean or this or that or the other. You need to know why you're here. Why, but that's different than your why, because my why is to protect my family anywhere over the world. If we need to move to another country all fast because of government stuff or something, we could just do that and have an income. We had the ability to be anywhere. We had we had good water, good air, good food, and we didn't depend on everything else. That right there, that's why I'm doing this. Why are you doing this? Is it strong enough that you'll stay? All we're really doing is sharing product with people, and we're getting paid for doing so. We're growing an organization of other people that are doing the same thing and making a few dollars from that. And over time, it grows into this massive thing if you stay the course and you're consistent with it. And so we show the plan, we follow up, and then we train other people to do the same thing. That's the other part of it. And we just keep rinsing and repeating the process. So if that's a stranger, you're sharing some product with them or bringing it up in a conversation. Having conversations with strangers, I guess, is like the thing in and of itself. But why are you here? Where are you going? That's the question. Where are you going? How much money did you set out to make? How much time did you set out to have? What did you set out for with this? Because you could have, do, or be anything. And this is a vehicle that's level playing field. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor, you're an attorney, if you're a homeless man, if you're like someone who's in the military and has military skills. It doesn't matter what background or personality you have. You'll see in this type of business that regardless of any of those metrics, the people that are successful are the people that do the work and do the work consistently and for a long time. And eventually it just pops off one day and people will say, oh, that's luck. But again, that would be like constantly moving the dirt on the seed and exposing the seed so it doesn't germinate. You have to just trust the process, set out and know who you are, know why you're here, know where you're going. And those all help. Where did you come from? If you project the past onto the future, you'll get the same result. So this is a different company. There are not a lot of companies in this type of business that are cheaper than what's in the store, cheaper than its online competition, cheaper than its mainstream, just talking price. The adage of the coupon code thing, the fact that a linear income is possible here, a residual income is possible here, one-time money is possible here, a platform for someone to knock doors, a platform for someone to go to trade shows, a platform for someone to sell it online. It's just a platform with so many utilities, and it's almost like an open source platform to use a green juice that does miracles in the body and is something everyone should take every day. And it's also less expensive than all its competition. And we get to share that with people. It's so powerful and profound. So my challenge to you is to know who you are, where you're going, why you're here. And if you don't know those things, write them down. And then start the process. Even if it's just, I'm going to talk to 5 people this week. I'm going to talk to 3 people this week. I'm going to text everybody I think of in the moment this week. Whatever that play is, that would help so much. So begin the process. If you haven't done a meeting at your home, just see if you can get 10 or 20 people to come to your house and do a little party and have everybody try it and test strip and make it fun and cool and exciting and expose it to a bunch of people. That's so powerful. Go live on social media if that's your thing, whatever your play is. I'm going to stop the recording and then I'm going to keep on going.